Israel's Netanyahu says killing Khamenei would end the war, but would it really? Explained. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has openly declared that eliminating Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, could effectively end the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran. In a recent interview with ABC News, Netanyahu stated, "We're not just fighting our enemy. We're fighting your enemy. For God's sake," they chant, "death to Israel, death to America. We're simply on their way. And this could reach America soon." He further emphasized that any potential plan to assassinate Khamenei is not going to escalate the conflict, it's going to end the conflict. Netanyahu's government has been vocal about its desire to curtail Iran's growing influence in the Middle East, particularly its nuclear ambitions. But can Israel really eliminate Khamenei, and if so, what would it mean for regional and global stability? Israel's objectives. A strategic shift. At the heart of the question is Israel's long-standing concern over Iran's nuclear program and its destabilizing influence across the Middle East. The Israeli government, under Netanyahu, has been vocal in its desire to weaken Iran's leadership to prevent it from gaining nuclear weapons. Israel perceives Iran as a direct existential threat, particularly due to its stated goal of Israel's destruction and its support for militant groups such as Hezbollah and Hamas. The Israeli Defense Forces (IDF) have already conducted a series of covert operations targeting Iran's nuclear infrastructure. However, the idea of eliminating Khamenei, the central figure of Iran's political and religious leadership, takes this strategy to a more radical level. In his public statements, Netanyahu has hinted at taking more aggressive action against Iran's leadership if diplomatic and military efforts fall short. The feasibility of assassination. While Israel has a proven track record of carrying out high-profile assassinations, such as the killing of Iranian nuclear scientists, the targeted elimination of Khamenei presents a different set of challenges. ABC News quoted experts who argue that it's not just about the physical act of an assassination, but also the broader political and military fallout. The supreme leader of Iran operates within a tightly controlled environment. His security is managed by elite military units, such as the Revolutionary Guards (IRGC), which are highly skilled in safeguarding their leader. The logistical difficulties of getting close enough to Khamenei to carry out an assassination would be immense, particularly given Iran's strategic capabilities and heightened security after decades of Israeli attempts at sabotage and assassination, reported CBS News. Even if Khamenei were killed, it's uncertain that Israel's actions would weaken Iran significantly. Iran's political system is designed to function with a degree of resilience, and while Khamenei holds immense power, he is not irreplaceable. According to The Guardian, the Iranian leadership is deeply entrenched, and it could adapt quickly to such a loss by installing a new figurehead or realigning power structures within the regime. What would regime change mean for Israel? Assuming Israel successfully assassinated Khamenei, the consequences for the broader Middle East would be profound. In the short term, Iran would likely retaliate against Israel, possibly escalating tensions into full-scale conflict. The Iranian leadership is ideologically committed to resisting foreign interference, and an attack on Khamenei could unite factions within the country against an external enemy. Additionally, Iran could target Israeli interests across the region, including Israeli assets in Syria, Lebanon, or even further afield. In the longer term, the destabilization of Iran might not necessarily favor Israel. Iran is home to a complex political and religious system, and the absence of Khamenei could lead to internal strife and the rise of more radical factions. As per Guardian, this chaos could open the door for even more aggressive actors within the regime, potentially exacerbating Israel's security concerns. The global response. The international community's reaction to Israel's potential assassination of Khamenei would likely be mixed. While some allies, like the United States, might tacitly approve of Israel's attempt to curb Iranian power, others would view it as a destabilizing act of aggression. Iran is a major regional power, and any violent action against its leadership could result in severe diplomatic consequences for Israel. The United Nations, European Union, and other global entities would likely condemn such an action, potentially leading to increased isolation for Israel. Moreover, the broader geopolitical consequences would be felt well beyond the Middle East. Iran's allies, including Russia and China, could use the opportunity to bolster their influence in the region, viewing Israel's move as a violation of sovereignty, said CBS News. Swipe left for next video. Thus, while Israel has the means and historical precedent for taking aggressive actions against Iranian leadership, the assassination of Khomeini would be a high-risk, high-reward strategy. The operational difficulties, combined with the political and military fallout, make it a dangerous and uncertain course of action. Israel's efforts to eliminate Khomeini would likely only lead to temporary disruption of Iran's political structure, rather than the desired long-term destabilization or regime change. Ultimately, the risks involved in such an operation may outweigh the benefits, and Israel will likely continue to focus on more covert actions and international pressure to curb Iran's nuclear ambitions and regional activities. Latest blogs.